changes for BC in this game, Manali. We have Harmandeep Bhaia and Anup Ravi coming in for Sukhpreet Kokar, I should say, and Navjot Desange. Manali, get rolling first. And the two opening batsmen for Saskatchewan, Mohammad Jamshed to take strike, and his partner, the wicketkeeper Pranav Kumar Patel. And it is going to be the new man, Harmandeep Bhaia, to open the attack. And Harmandeep pulling wide outside the off stump. It is his first game of the tournament coming in to play this game. He's got a tall action, Manali, so expecting to get a bit of bounce. We've said it all day, there is still a little bit of grass cover on that wicket. And that
big swing and a miss by Jamshed. He's trying to hit that ball to the moon. Serious follow through with his bat. But we've seen spinners be quite successful on this pitch. The pacers have been decent when bowling in the right areas. However, the spinners have definitely had more of a say for the two games that we've had earlier today. Oh, and that's a wide ball, string quite down the offside.
Yeah, a little bit wayward there. He is getting a little bit of movement, and you're right. The spinners have had a lot of say in this tournament so far. They've had a lot of say in this tournament so far, but it's going to be interesting to see how BC plays this. Their seam bowlers didn't bowl that well in the first game, and so they're going to want to make a comeback here as we see Bhaia coming. That's short hit down, top edge, but just tipped over the bar, down at third man. That's got to go down as a drop catch in the first boundary of the innings for Saskatchewan. Just an uppercut. And umpire was confused. We were confused. He did tip it over the bar for 6, so that opens up the account for Jamshed. First 6 of the tournament for him, and he'll be mighty pleased that that one was tipped over the bar, Manali.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a drop catch. The fielder there at third man just not reacting fast enough, and at the very end sticking an arm out with some hope of it sticking in his hand. Oh, another big swing and a miss from Jamshed. I think he's making his intentions very clear early on. Bhaia is he's definitely going to be looking at the intention by Jamshed and thinking about where he needs to be bowling to keep him under control. BC obviously not as good on the field as they should have been in that first game, however still winning quite comfortably. And that was a play and a miss by Jamshed. A bit of a change his mind halfway through. Just checked his shot at the last second there.
Yeah, change of pace from Bhaia there. So I'm walking down the track and decided to roll his fingers across the seam. It's good thinking by Bhaia. This isn't a bad start to the over. 4 dot balls, a wide, and that lone 6. So Jamshed is a big unit, Manali. If he connects with one, it's going to go. And there it is, short outside the off stump again. And after one, it is 7 for no loss. So just the wide and the one scoring shot in the over. 5 dot balls. But Jamshed has certainly made his intentions very, very clear so far in the early going. But Bhaia not going to be too upset with that. Just the wide and the 6, as I mentioned. The one thing about BC, Manali, to date, with their seam, they've got the most pace out of any attack that we've seen so far. That does mean it's going to seam as well, potentially. So, lots of opportunity, but with the pace comes additional scoring opportunities for Saskatchewan as well. And as we saw from Jamshed, he's not going to shy away from any scoring opportunities. It's going to be Pranav Patel, the wicketkeeper for Saskatchewan, to take strike for the first time here this afternoon. And Manali, once again, we're seeing a team that we don't normally see in these competitions come to play, and it's the first time we're going to be seeing them, and they're going up against a formidable unit in British Columbia as we see Pranav Patel to face. And that one's a waiver delivery down the leg side. He's flicked that away. It's going and running away to the boundary. And it is indeed a boundary. That's what you want as your first delivery that you face, is a leg stump half volley, and you've got to put it away. And Pranav Patel certainly put that away, Manali.
Yeah, he's certainly put that away with a lot of confidence, and that shot will do his confidence great. Some great work, especially because, as you said, this team is coming out to competition like this for the first time. They haven't gone against stronger competition. Oh, and similar delivery, confusion in the middle, and Jamshed is sent back. I think Uday Birwalya, he needs to rethink the line that he is bowling. Similar line, and unfortunately that is played off the pads. And a slight misfield out at deep mid-wicket brings Pranav Patel back for his second. Wally is going to have to work a little bit harder on his line, RC, unfortunately. I mean, we know that Saskatchewan is not as experienced, but if you bowl wayward, you're definitely going to go for runs.
Absolutely. It's his first time bowling this tournament as well. He didn't bowl in the first game. Neither bowlers bowled. Obviously, Bahia not playing in the first game. But Uday Bir has definitely went weird. That's a better line. He just needed that slip to get out of there. The slip was moved to short mid-wicket and finds a better line in length and some good zip on that delivery as well. So just getting into his work here. They had a long warm-up, so he should have been warm and ready to go. There was a big gap between the two games, with Quebec finishing off that game early. But they have been sitting around for a while, have BC. They were here this morning. They played the first game, which went the whole way. All 40 overs were bowled in that match. And they had to wait around for quite a while before this next game. And again, that's a better length and a better line. But Pranav Patel up to the task. Just guiding that down to third man. And this has been a decent start from Saskatchewan so far. 14 for no loss after 1.5. Which brings Jamshed back on strike, and Jamshed, as we said early on in the first over, Manali, he's not gonna shy away if it's in his arc, and I think so far most balls are in his arc from the looks of it.
Oh, Walia to Jamshed, he just takes the shimmy down the wicket, but unfortunately another play and a miss. Something tells me Jamshed's either going to go big or go home, because his intentions are very clear every single delivery that he has faced. Saskatchewan at 14 for no loss after 2 overs. Yeah, RC, not a bad start from Saskatchewan. They've still got, they're still 0 wickets down, which is always a great confidence booster when you're going up against a side like BC and all the experience that they bring in. Baya's back into the attack, just gone for 7 runs in his first over, one of which was obviously a wide. I'm sure he's going to look to get his bearings straight and watch his line and length a little bit more, not to give away any extras or allow the batters to swing. That's wide outside the off, and another play and a miss, this time by Pranav Patel. Between the two, I would say, between Jamshed and Patel, I'd say Patel is a little more collected in his shot selection, whereas Jamshed just seems to want to throw the kitchen sink at absolutely everything, and that could go either way.
Yeah, certainly can. But for Saskatchewan, they need a good start here. They can't. We've seen with both New Brunswick and Newfoundland in the first 2 games, they can't lose wickets early. They want to make sure. This is a good running here between two. Jamshed was really alert there as that ball just hit into the offside. And Jamshed, the big unit, didn't look like he was going to be ready for that single, but he certainly was. Quick between the wickets is Jamshed. Bahia bowling well here. 1.2 overs for 8 runs. There's 5 drop balls in his first over, so he just went for that solitary 6 over third man, which for him could have been a potential wicket. He's bowling well here. Good. And this one's been slapped through the cover region. This is going to go all the way for 4. Might have spoken too early there as Ravinder Paul Singh bringing out the boot. And this is a run out. That is poor running between the two of them. There was certainly 3 in that. And Patel late to react. Jamshed was coming to the danger end. Wanted the third, but Patel wasn't ready for it, and unfortunately leads to his demise. So unfortunate there for Patel as he looked good early on in his innings.
Yeah, unfortunately, very, very bad communication in between the wickets and a horrible way to get out, especially after a start that they have had. Patel walks back for these, and BC have started their account in the wickets column. 15 for 1 after 2.2 overs, or 2.3 overs. I'm sure Baya would like to get the wicket under his column. However, a wicket is a wicket for the team. I'm sure BC is looking to finish this game as quickly as possible and get their guys back to the hotel and resting, because as we've seen, the schedule this week is quite heavy, with each team playing at least 2 games every day. The new man at the crease is Wajid Khan. Baya to Khan as he faces his first delivery. Oh, and that's well bowled by Baya. Very well defended by the batsman, and a dot ball at the end of that.
Yeah, Wajid Khan coming out with the old school Pakistan helmet there, so anytime I see that helmet, Manali, I can tell you that man can bat. And that's still we'll still wait to see, but looked very collected on his first delivery. As we see Bahia now, and might have put as that one, he's looking to play that on the onside, leading edge, but falling safely to point. So 2 dot balls now for Wajid Khan, especially in the first 6. Manali, Saskatchewan's going to have to find the boundary here early on in this innings. We've seen the first 6 overs be meaningful for all the teams that we've seen so far. So Saskatchewan's going to want a good start. This one again, watchful from Wajid Khan. A little bit of extra bounce for Bahia as well. Tall man. Walks with a look after 3 overs. The score.
Better start by the BC Pacers than the first game that they had today. They're on the mark. There's good pace. You can tell that they're hitting the deck hard. A great positive start for British Columbia. Of course, they gave away way more runs than I'm sure they would have intended to in their first game, with Nova Scotia finishing there on 161 runs. Arslan, par score on this pitch, now that it's starting to get dry out there, some dust flying around.
And Jamshed taking a few steps down the wicket, giving it his all, not unable to connect so far. His lone 6, or lone boundary I should say, was off a top edge, so giving it his all, but unfortunately not able to connect. And Manali, coming to your question in terms of par score, I'd say anything under 150 is below par, so I would be looking at a score of 150 to 160 slightly. As we see this one carved away over third man, and there's that second boundary that he was looking for. That's 4 runs for Jamshed, and he likes a little bit of width, I can tell you that. As Jamshed has hit that straight over top of the third man fielder who's in the ring. The 2 men out are at deep extra cover and deep mid-wicket. And Jamshed, a big man, just needs to get a little bit of bat on that with that pace of Uday Birwalia, and that's 4 runs. As we now see the deep mid-wicket coming in, deep square leg coming in the ring, and third man going out. The slip is back in play as well, Manali, so they sense a second wicket coming, and they're certainly going for it, as they did in that first game that BC played. They went for runs, but they kept taking wickets at regular intervals.
Yeah, the intention's very clear based on the field that has been set on the offside. They want to bowl short and outside of off, try and get him to either nick it to the slip or... And that's straight up in the air and a very, very comfortable catch by the fielder at mid-off. And unfortunately, that brings an end to Jamshed's very enthusiastic innings. He has to walk back for 12 off of 12 deliveries, and Saskatchewan 21 for 2 after 3.4 overs. Not the start that Saskatchewan would have hoped for, Arslan. Unfortunately, their openers are back in the hut, and 21 is a pretty small total.
Yeah, I'm sure with Jamshed, that's not a wicket they wanted to lose at this stage. He looked to be the one to try and get them off to a flyer. Unfortunately, not able to do so on this occasion. But that does bring in by their buck. And the lone Canadian national on this team, Manali, as he did play for the Canadian Under-19 team. As we see the bright red helmet come out, that's when you know that they're a Canadian international, and by their buck is certainly that. Coming to Saskatchewan, Manali, they need a partnership, and it's got to be down to these two to get that wicket, and they did cross, so it is going to be Wajid Khan on strike pace. So neither batsman off the mark yet. By their buck yet to face a delivery, and Wajid Khan facing 3 deliveries for no runs so far. And again, they were really looking at Jamshed as we see a second slip come in and some of that momentum that he started on early. This one's watchful, and this is a quick single, and they're able to come through. So great running by Saskatchewan there.
2 new batters on the pitch for Saskatchewan as Walia comes in. And again, hitting that deck hard, pulling back of a length, and you can hear the grunt and the effort that he's putting in after every delivery. Just goes to show how much it means for him to be here to perform for his province, and of course to have a mark for the selectors to look at and to get noticed for national selections. And with that last delivery, Saskatchewan's 22 for 2 after 4 overs. These two batters certainly have to try and look at building a partnership, because 2 wickets down already with a lot of overs left to bat still. They need to try and protect those wickets while rotating. See, unfortunately, Jamshed, he had all the right intentions and had the right energy. However, at some point you got to try and connect with that ball, which RC, I just don't think he was further away from the ball more often than he actually connected.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I do like the intent. The intent from Saskatchewan is they're going to go hard at this in the power play with Jamshed and Patel as well. Unfortunate for that run out, and that was just, again, a little bit too quick for him. It got onto him too quickly there for Jamshed. But now it's down to these two, Wajid Khan and Bedar Bakht, as we see a bowling change. Nawab Chima into Wajid Khan, and that's watchful played down to mid-off. Ravinder Pal Singh has touched every ball so far, almost. He got the run out, chased that ball down for the run out, and then taking the catch as well. So the captain certainly having a say in this game here early. And this one now, getting a little bit of movement. Play and miss outside the off stump. Nawab Chima, Manali, in the first game didn't start off that well, but the second spell was certainly better, and that rhythm seems to have continued from that second spell in the first game.
For Saskatchewan, it'll be interesting to see how some of these provinces like Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan fare against each other. Oh, and that's short, and oh my word, there was confusion between the bowling, and there are now overthrows as the fielder throws very, very way wide of where the stumps actually were, and the backup unfortunately is just as sloppy as they misfield, and not the greatest delivery or not the greatest ball for BC in terms of fielding. I'm quite keen to see how some of the smaller provinces or less developed provinces will fare against each other. I think the competition level might be quite similar. Oh, and beautifully bowled by Singh outside the off stump, and another play and a miss by Wajid Khan. BC is holding off on bringing their spinners on as they dug in short again, and Khan pulls it quite comfortably, and that is beautifully fielded at the square leg by Chase. Certainly saved a boundary over there. Oh, and look at that, umpire signaling one short. That's poor running. Poor running considering that's an easy run that they've definitely worked hard for, and just not crossed that bat over the line. RC, how important are these little things in cricket? Making sure that you ground your bat on the other side before you turn. The little things that make a huge factor.
And that finds the outside edge. There are two of the day. How many times have we seen a game decided by one run? Or a tie game that goes into a super over. All these little things matter in the end, and you never know. And I'm sure the coaches will be keeping a keen eye. The Saskatchewan coach of Kuram Chauhan will have his notebook out and making note of that, and that's something that they certainly will talk about after the game, are those 1% factors. And you asked for spin, Manali. Your wish has been granted, and it's going to be Parvinder Sharma here. Bowled really well in that first game, I must say. Took a couple of wickets, but bowled really smartly as well in that first game, and was a difference maker for them as New Brunswick is going all guns blazing in that. So it's going to be the first time we're seeing spin here today for BC in the second game by their buck to face. There's still a slip in place. The two men out are at deep mid-wicket and long on. And that one's been cut away, but there is a nice ring on it off. This one's been pitched up, playing 2 and 5.2. It's been the lowest scoring power play so far. Winning the toss, deciding the bat, you would have ideally liked to get off to a better start, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. A very quiet start, and almost out of the power play here. And Buck just plays that down leg to square leg for a single. Yeah, very, very quiet start from Saskatchewan. Of course, I don't think they had hoped to or planned to lose both of their openers as early as they have. And that certainly had an impact on the two next batters coming in and having to reevaluate just how aggressively they can start out this innings. Looks to play down leg again, and a huge appeal from the fielders. However, a bit of... I think even the bowler knew there that it was going down leg. And that's a wide delivery from Parvinder Sharma. Got a re-bowl. It's an extra run to Saskatchewan, an extra delivery that he has to bowl. Full toss from Sharma and to 1, and with that single, Saskatchewan at 30 for 2 after 6 overs. Slow start, RC. 6 overs gone. Could not make the most of that power play. What are your thoughts for Saskatchewan? What do you think their game plan should be at this stage of the game?
Manali with the two men, 1 on 6 off, Wajid Khan on 6 off 11, by their buck 2 off 6. 30 for 2 in his 6 overs. Not an ideal start in the power play. Ideally, you'd like to be closer to that 50 mark. But with that being said, they certainly need a partnership, and these two have to build a platform for their team to be able to launch from later on in this innings, as we see Nawab Chima continue. The other thing to note there, Manali, is not a lot of only 3 boundaries in that power play as well. So that's not something you want to see. You'd ideally like to see more boundaries, especially in the power play with only 2 fielders out. But now Nawab Chima into the hips. into the hip of Wajid Khan, just off the thigh pad. There is protection there, of course, but you never like getting hit, do you? Regardless of whether you have padding or not, it doesn't feel too good. We're out of the power play now, and still aggressive from Ravinder Pal Singh's team. 2 slips still in place for Chima. The only man out. Third man, fine leg, deep backward square leg. So there is potential for a short ball here, and they've used it well so far in this innings. Of course, with Uday Birwaliya getting that wicket, as we see Nawab Chima run in. That one's full on the leg stump, and Badr Buck just managed to get a little bit of bat on that, running through for a single. They've used the short ball well in this inning so far. Like we said, BC's probably got the most pace out of any team so far in this competition that we've seen, and certainly on display here early in this game.
Yeah, certainly. Definitely the most pace used by any of the teams, and they're using it extremely effectively. Bowling good lines, good lengths, attacking the batsman. Oh, and that's pulled beautifully, and a bit of a half chance as the fielder at fine leg comes in and stops the boundary. Pulled that quite far back, hooked it on really well, and unfortunately definitely denied a boundary there.
You say denied boundary. Bowler says missed opportunity, as he was unhappy with that effort there at the fine leg boundary. And they're getting back to his line and length there is Nawab Chima. Yeah, I thought it was a poor effort on the boundary there. There from the fielder. Looks like Yudhvir Singh down there on the fine leg boundary, and Nawab Chima had a little bit of a scream at him, which I like to see personally. It means that you're in the game, you want to win, you want to do things right, and you're holding your teammates accountable. So as long as it doesn't cross that line, I see no issues with it. And Nawab Chima certainly putting in a big effort here for his team, giving it his all. That one's short outside the off stump, and Badr Buck does not need an invitation to that. Short wide 4 for Badr Buck, and that brings up his first boundary. They're going to need a lot more of those to continue to build this partnership, Manali, but that was well done by Badr Buck.
Yeah, certainly capitalized on a very, very poor delivery by Nawab Singh. That was short, wide, just asking to be hit, and certainly got the treatment that it deserved. Which is too bad, because Nawab Singh's actually bowled quite decent this spell. Oh, and that's pitched up full, and a single to end the over as Saskatchewan finish on 39. The first game we saw Aaron Johnson get the ball, and he picked up some real quick wickets in his 2 overs. I'd be quite intrigued to see if he's given a chance this game as well. However, BC does have a very experienced bowling lineup and plenty of bowlers to rotate, so lots of options for the captain. These 2 batsmen look like they're settling in nicely, RC. I mean, Khan is on 13 off 16, Buck 3 off 7. However, they're starting to look more comfortable out there than the opening pair.
Yeah, certainly looking more comfortable, but they need that Saskatchewan. They need to build a partnership here if they're to get to that 150 mark, as we see Parvinder Sharma to continue. And that one's bowled him. That's what you call the commentator's curse, Manali, as we see that one sliding in with the arm, and Badr Buck has to go. He was looking good. He was looking good early on his innings, but he has to go now. And that was well bowled by Parvinder Sharma. Coming in with the arm, sliding on. That's the arm ball. Taking the off stump with him. And Saskatchewan now in a deeper hole at 39 for 3 after 7.1. Harpratap Sandhu to come into the bat, and Manali, we keep saying this over and over again, a partnership is going to be key here. You got to consolidate a little bit, not take too long, but get the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, unfortunate for Buck because he was just starting to look comfortable, and unfortunately, you're right. Maybe commentators curse. However, Wajid Khan and Buck looked like they were onto something. Sandhu to face Sharma. Oh, and that's an under edge as misses everything. The stumps, the keeper, and Sandhu off the mark with 2 runs as that ball trickles down to fine leg.
Watching Aaron Johnson run after that ball, Manali. I don't think he's going to get a ball. He looks mighty stiff out there. But Pravinder Sharma bowling a lot of arm balls here. That one just again sliding through, getting the inside edge. And now back to regularly scheduled programming with left arm orthodox. Watchful there by Sandhu. This one well watched as well. And as you mentioned a little while ago, these two need to start rebuilding for their team here. We saw it time and time again in the first 2 games, Manali, a partnership. 20 overs is still a long time as this one is hit out to the cover boundary for that single for Sandhu. 20 overs is still a long time. There's still a lot of balls and a lot of time left in this game. Once you start building, you might have a few quiet overs, but you give yourself a platform to launch from. And that's what Saskatchewan's looking for at this stage, is a platform to be able to launch from later on in the innings. As we see this, Wajid Khan playing this down the leg side. They're running hard, but they're going to be able to keep that just to 1 as BC. So another single to Wajid Khan, and the score...
Kuram Chauhan has played quite a fair bit. I think fatigue is going to be a big player this week, RC. I mean, with a number of games scheduled for all of these players, and I don't really know what they have in terms of rehab or ice baths. I'm not quite sure what they're doing when they get back to the hotel, but fatigue will certainly play a factor. That's a dot ball to start the over for Bajwa, who is now into the attack. Bajwa bowling to Wajid Khan. Arslan, how important is fatigue as a fast bowler? Oh, that's good running from Saskatchewan. That was played to the point, to the cover fielder, and stole a single as the fielder was slow to react to the ball hit to him.
Yeah, this has been good running between the wickets. Not leaving with the exception of the run out, of course, for the first wicket. Saskatchewan looking good between the wickets as we see Dilpreet Bajwa continuing his over here, and fatigue is certainly going to play a part. Canadian cricketers that, as we see Bajwa in, and this one sliding down leg, looking to help it on its way. There's nobody there behind square leg on the leg side except for on the boundary. So there's lots of runs to play with there, but just not able to connect. And it might not play a factor for something that's a lot of local tournaments around Canada, but also across the U.S. where you have to play 3-4 games in a couple of days. So it might not factor in for those guys, but the other guys that aren't used to playing that many games, aren't used to playing in the weekdays, right? You're used to playing 1 or 2 games a weekend, and then you continue on. So it's certainly going to play a part as we see Sandhu play this one down to mid-wicket. Nobody in the ring on the leg side. Bajwa does the cleanup job himself. Keeps it to just a single. So it's going to be key for some of the teams like the New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Saskatchewans who aren't used to playing those tournaments. And then the guys from Alberta, from Ontario, that are also not used to playing those tournaments. And he's been given. New keeper in for this game for BC, and he's done a job for the team. Wajid Khan does not look happy. He does not want to walk off that crease. As again, we've seen that twice now today. Manali, just a nothing shot, but sliding that back leg out of the crease. And Shreyas Mova in the last match, and Anup Ravi in this match, adept and very watchful, whipping those bails off in a flash.
Yeah, great work from the keeper. Good fast hands, and that earns Bajwa his first wicket. Unfortunately, Wajid Khan's got to walk back as As he walks back, he scored 15 off of 20 deliveries. Slow start, but he had been in there for a while. He had started to read the ball a little bit better. Unfortunate to lose him at this time because Sandhu is still quite new, and now a new partnership that Saskatchewan have to adjust for. I'm starting to feel maybe Saskatchewan's going the same sort of way that Newfoundland did with their batting, where the boundaries are getting hard to find, the runs are getting hard to come across. Tall order here, RC. I mean, BC was definitely never going to take this competition lightly, but certainly have their work cut out for them. Currently, they're going at just 5 runs and over and projected to get to just 100 runs, which is not going to be enough against this BC side. Oh, and that's poor delivery from Sharma, bowling a low full toss, and Sandhu capitalizing on it. That's a big hit right over extra cover. Just as I said, they need to get some runs.
Yeah, certainly. You compare this innings to the Newfoundland innings, Manali, but the one thing Newfoundland had was a batsman that had been there for the entirety of the 20 overs, an anchor of sorts for their innings. And Saskatchewan at this point in time are looking at somebody, potentially Sandhu. It's a loose delivery by Sharma in the last delivery, a full toss, asking to be hit. This time, it's short, goes the other way, and there's a fielder out there. Their leg, Nawab Singh Chima doing the cleanup. So Pravinder Sharma looked good in the first game, has been off the mark so far. And the other thing to factor in, Manali, with the fatigue is you play one game and then you're sitting down doing nothing for 3 or 4 hours and then having to play again. As we see this one short outside the off stump, cut away by Rehan Ayub, the new batsman, just for a single. But that does factor in. You're doing nothing for 3 or 4 hours. You've just had a heavy lunch, some biryani in your system, and that starts to play a factor, weighs you down. So it does take a little while to get back and up and running. They had a long warm-up, but you can still start to see the fatigue on some of their players.
Yeah, you got it right about the heavy lunch. I mean, I think it's safe to say short, down leg, outside off, and another short delivery and pull down 5.2 runs and over. At the halfway point, they've got to look to accelerate for these last 10 overs. I was watching the two teams warm up, and obviously there was quite a big lull between their first games and this second game of theirs. And you go through your warm up, pretty lengthy warm up on a fairly hot day, and then they sat down for another 15-20 minutes to go out again. And that's Bajwa to Sandhu. Sandhu just plays it straight back to Bajwa for another dot ball. Oh, just back of a length and played into the offside for no run again. Yeah, those players had warmed up and then they were almost cool again before they went out onto the field.
Bajwa short outside the off stump. Loud appeal by Ravi, but he's the only man interested. Umpire not moved. So this has been good bowling from Bajwa so far in this spell. 1 wicket for 2 in 1.4, and the dot ball is starting to rack up here. But again, there's still plenty of time in this game. And this one hit out to the long on and finds for him as he wasn't able to rotate the strike. Went for the big shot, not connecting, and a well-field Bahia just completed the task. So now Saskatchewan in a deeper hole at 52 for 5. Manali, we talk about the fatigue of BC playing a game earlier, but it also can't be easy. Saskatchewan has been here since about 2 p.m. this afternoon, 3 hours before the game, and they were just sitting around watching. And it's tough not to be able to get into your motions. You want to have the field where you can warm up, get some batting drills, get some bowling drills in, but they weren't able to do that. So a long gap between the games. Field not being available either. It's telling, but also Saskatchewan playing the first game of the tournament. BC's also already played on this wicket. They know what this is going to do. They're well aware of the conditions where for Saskatchewan they're having to learn on the fly. So that's playing a factor here as well. They were looking for Sandhu to really continue the momentum for them in this innings, but unfortunately with his departure and Imran Khan now coming to the crease, Rehan Ayoub's only faced one ball for one run, so they're having to start from scratch all over again.
Yeah, definitely two brand new batters again, and every time Saskatchewan's had someone set, faced about 10-15 deliveries, they've gotten out, and Saskatchewan's got to rebuild again. They've rebuilt about. With every wicket that they've lost, it's been one of the batters that's been out there for a while. That's very well bowled. Very well bowled by Bajwa, and a big play and a miss by Imran Khan. Saskatchewan, after 11 overs, 52 for 5. Bajwa's been pick of the bowlers so far. He's bowled 2 overs for just 2 on the field. Bowled short of a length on off stump, and Imran Khan just plays that to point for no run. Again, short, wide, and almost identical to that first delivery.
Ravinder Paul's getting a lot of action on that point, in that point region. 3 balls to him in this over. And there's been a lot of famous Imran Khans in the cricketing world. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, and not to mention the leg spinner from Trinidad and Tobago. Imran Khan going to have to do a job here for Saskatchewan alongside Rehan Ayoub. But Parvinder Sharma seems to have found his areas. That one's a leading edge. They're going through for the single, and they're going to be able to get through comfortably. Just finding the gap between those two fielders. It's just one run off that over. 53 for 5 after 12. And Manali, you're right. The dot balls are starting to add up, but that's what happens when you keep losing wickets at regular intervals. Dot balls add up. And these two spinners have really put a stranglehold on this innings, and Saskatchewan has got to do something to get themselves out of it. 53 for 5, simply not going to be enough. We saw it earlier, Quebec versus Newfoundland, 112 they managed to get, and that was thanks to an onslaught in the last 2 overs. They're going to need an onslaught here as Saskatchewan.
Bajwa continuing with his 3rd over. A little bit of flight there, and Imran Khan playing that.
Over long on for 6. Rehan Ayoub, welcome to the party, sir. That's what we've been looking for. And I was going to say before that ball, Manali, there hasn't been much flow to the innings so far. Again, that is what happens when the wickets fall in regular intervals, but Rehan Ayoub putting that one over long on might be given the impetus that this inning needs. Just ruining that over from Bajwa there. 2 for 11 now for Bajwa off his 3 overs, so still a great spell even with that 6. But they're going to need more. Match. We'll see if he can.
Yeah, certainly the golden arm from the first game, and I'm sure he is looking to continue where he left off, and I'm sure he was quite disappointed to be taken off in the last game. Oh, and starts beautifully with his first delivery. A big shout. However, the umpire says not out. Looked a little high, RC. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely high on that occasion. And this one's driven out to mid wicket. Sorry, I should say. Manali, I don't know what it is about these off spinners from Jamaica. You see the likes of Chris Gale, Marlon Samuels. Nice lazy run to the wicket, and a lot of shoulder fielded off his own bowling there as well, keeping that to a dot ball. But again, we said it a little bit earlier, there hasn't been much flow to this innings, and they need to be able to rotate the strike. The big hits may come, but what you have to be able to do in T20 cricket is make sure that you don't waste 120 balls. The singles and doubles, they'll get you to 120 easy, and then the boundaries are going to be extra. And unfortunately not able to do so, as this one's cut out. It does fall safely, and that's going down to the deep cover boundary for a single for Imran Khan. But this is the man that put the ball over long on the last over, Rehan Ayub. We'll see if he wants to do the same against Aaron Johnson. New Brunswick was unsuccessful against Aaron Johnson in the first game. We'll see if these are free runs for Saskatchewan, and Manali, they'll certainly take them at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to take any runs that come along their way. Aaron Johnson with a very wayward delivery. They're usually in very good control of his bowling. But you're right, it's kind of like that Chris Gale, just lazy on, mosey on up. And then they've got the height as well, though, to make that ball dip. Just back of a length there. Played to the short extra cover and quick run. I don't think that was a run, to be honest. I feel like the fielder was a little slow off his heels. Final delivery left in Johnson's over. Short, going down leg again, and played fine to the fine leg region, and that is the end of the over for Johnson. Saskatchewan 68 for 5 after 14 overs. Projected score this 97 runs, and that unfortunately just doesn't sound like it's going to be enough for the BC batting lineup, which has quite a lot of experience, quite a few national players. And I mean, we just saw Aaron Johnson take the ball. However, I'm sure he's raring to go to opening the bat again for BC in the second innings. Another dot ball to the Saskatchewan batters as Imran Khan plays and misses. And Bajwa's looking good into his fourth and final over of his. Quicker delivery, just back of a length, and Ayub scampering across for another single. They're doing well in that. However, almost at the 15th over mark, I think they need to start seeing some more shots. And speaking of that, that is played beautifully to the long on, or the long off fielder, who fields it at the boundary, and unfortunately not four. However, there's another big drive, a big heave and a ho, but not much more than a single. Maybe another release shot, Arsalan, because those are far and few.
Yeah, but these two have done well here. Build up a little bit of a partnership and give themselves a platform to launch from. Masveed Bajwa. This one's been carved away through the offside. In the gap, they're going to come back for two. So again, ones and twos doing the trick here so far. That's been the story so far. The lone six for Rehan Ayub. The score now up to 75 for 5. And you're right, Manali. The boundaries haven't come. But it is there are big wide boundaries on the leg side and the offside. The straight boundaries are quite short, however, so that's your big scoring opportunities. But the BC bowler's not giving them much room to work with here, so It's going to be down to the running to put the pressure back on, and it's crazy what a couple singles and doubles and an over do. The gaps just start to open up for themselves, and these two now 5 overs left. They've got to really launch from here. They need 50-60 in these last 5 overs, Manali, to really put up a competitive total. Aaron Johnson to continue in this one. Imran Khan looking to carve that away over the offside, not connecting. It's going to be another dot ball, and Aaron Johnson doing a different role in this match. Being asked to end the innings, where in the earlier match he was asked to come in during after him. But he's doing a job for his captain here. This one giving himself a little bit of room, and this one's just skied in the air. A simple catch to Desange at point, and a disappointing end to Imran Khan's innings. 8 off 21. A lot of intent in the innings for Imran Khan, just not much execution, Manali.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Imran Khan, he's got to walk back, but VC's done it right. Every time there's a partnership building, they've come in and they've gotten a wicket to break up that partnership. Just never really given them the momentum to build on and put on a big score. And in comes in Jatinder Mangat. About to from Aaron Johnson, just making sure he knows where the fielders are. That's well bowled from Aaron Johnson as Jatinder Mangat just plays it out to the cover fielder for a dot. This is some great pressure that Johnson's putting on the Saskatchewan batters. No room given whatsoever to free their arms. Slightly slower from Johnson, and that is pulled down to the long on fielder for a single, and that brings Jatinder Mangat off of strike with his first run in this tournament.
And that one's hit out. It's a long off. It's just going to fall short of the fielder there, so just a single. But you're right, Aaron room. But Manali, there's lots of gaps in this field. And the one thing Saskatchewan haven't done is find the gaps for the 2s and 3s. And as I mentioned a little while ago, once you start finding those gaps, you'll be surprised to see that the boundaries open up as well. So 77 for 6 now in 16 overs. Ran Ayub with just the lone 6 for him. He's 13 off 8. Jatinder Mangat 1 off 3 with 4 overs left. It's going to be Nawab Singh Chima coming back into the attack. Manali had a chance to connect with the Saskatchewan management earlier today, and they mentioned that their bowling was certainly their strength. They've got 2 former first-class cricketers, one from Pakistan, one from India in their ranks. So they see their bowling at their strength, but they've got to put a score on the board to be able to defend. It'll be interesting to see the 2 quicks, or the 2 bowlers, Sarmad Anwar, the captain, have some runs to play with in the latter half of the game.
Yeah, good point. I think at least getting to about the 140, 150 mark would give the Saskatchewan bowlers a bit of a fighting chance. And in comes in Nawab Singh to Ayub. And that's wide down the offside. Not the greatest start to his bowling. But going for the Saskatchewan batters to hit those gaps, to free their arms. Nawab bowling in, running in, bowling with some steam, and Ayub with a big swing and a miss as the ball comfortably sails to the keeper. Nawab Singh wicketless in this innings so far. He's bowling his 3rd over, gone for 14 runs, a little bit on the expensive side compared to the rest of his bowling. bowling partners. Ball just short of a length, and that's played quite comfortably to the point fielder by Ayub for a single. Oh, and Singh to Mangat. Mangat looking to hit that down the ground, but unfortunately hits it to the back of his foot. Arslan, good pace from Nawab Singh, coming in, bowling hard. A little unfortunate to not be in the wickets column today.
Yeah, will certainly consider himself unlucky. There was that half a chance down to deep fine leg that he missed out on, but he's bowling well here. Slightly inconsistent, some may say, but he's bowled well, changed things up here a little bit. There's a short ball, and that's hit high in the air. And that's gone all the way, is it? Yes, it has. And that's a big hit. That's what happens with pace, Manali. He doesn't need to create it for himself. He just needs to put the bat on ball, and he's certainly done so. He brought mid-off up for that delivery. Went for 6. So change of plan once again as mid-off now going back, fine leg in, but that was a lovely hit from Mangat. And again, Singh Chima going for a few in this inning so far. This one's pitched up. This one's hit down to long off. Just going to fall short of the captain, Ravinder Paul Singh. One bounce to him. It is a single, but Mangat certainly here to play. And this is where, Manali, you start to open up the gaps. Once you've hit that boundary, that single get-off strike, give the other man an opportunity. And Rayan Ayub has shown that he has the ability to hit the long ball. But they're going to need a few more of those if they're to set up a formidable total here for Saskatchewan to defend. This one, a fuller delivery, hit down the ground. Mangat running hard. Rayan says, no thank you, I'll take the strike from the other end. As that now brings an end to the 17th over. 87 for 6 after 17. Manali, they're going to need a couple big overs here to get to that 120, 130 mark. 140 might be a stretch too far away.
Yeah, absolutely. The current run rate of 5.12, they only get to 102 runs, which is definitely going to be well short of par score against a team like BC. But 130 certainly on the cards if these two guys can push on to get a big score in the last 3 overs. They've still got a few wickets in hand. You're looking more set. The last thing you want for them to do is to lose a wicket. Nawab Singh, definitely one of the more expensive bowlers. 3 overs, 23 runs. A little bit of noise out there from the BC players. Talking up their bowler, backing the bowler up. Into the attack for his 3rd over. Oh, and that's a full toss, and that is caught very well at the long on boundary. The fielder barely had to move and took a very good catch that was quite high in the air. Baya picking up his first wicket of the game. Unfortunately, Saskatchewan 87 for 7 now. BC's done a fantastic job getting their wickets at regular intervals. Just never let any of them get away. Never let anyone get too comfortable.
You're right in saying that as we see Manjit Sidhu walk to the crease. They haven't let them get away, but that's not a delivery you'd like to take a wicket on. You'd see Bahia wasn't too happy with that one. Low full toss, asking to be hit. He just hit out to the Ravinder Paul Singh, and we said the ball's following him today. It certainly has. Second catch and a run out. Doesn't need to bat. He saved enough runs for his team already. As you see, Mangat, slower delivery. Well bowled there by Bahia. Just rolling his fingers down the seam, and Mangat, watchful, wanted to go after it, but adjusted very nicely to be hit that down to, once again, Ravinder Paul Singh for just a single. Third man coming up in the ring now to the new man, Sidhu. Scratch that. Third man going back once again. So the same field. The 5 men out are at third man. Cover, long off, long on, and deep mid wicket. 4 men in the ring, short fine leg, short backward square leg, point and cover. As you see Bahia running in. And this is pitched up, driven well down the ground. They're pushing hard. And they're coming back for 2. This is good running by Saskatchewan. Just what you want to see in the latter half of the innings. Some finesse of the innings, and we talked about the 1% factors early on, Manali, and that's exactly what you want to see, running hard between the wickets.
Yeah, great intensity. Sidhu's just come out to bat, and you can see the intent is quite clear. He hit that beautifully down the ground, and ran that first run hard, and were able to come back quite comfortably for the second. Oh, and that's hit beautifully straight over the bowler's head. That was a fantastic shot by Sidhu. I guess this is the intent, and these are the runs that we were talking about, Arslan, as the innings comes almost to an end. Saskatchewan 96, just 4 runs away from that 100 mark, and still a couple of overs left. If they can push on, get to that 120, 130 mark, they could have something to fight for. Bahia, he's got some thinking to do. A little bit expensive this over. 19 runs in his 2.4 overs, and still got a couple more deliveries left in this over, with a very keen Sidhu, who's come in and made his intentions very clear from ball 1. That's well bowled, pitched right up, and Sidhu drives that to covers for a single. Decent over, Arslan, for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, definitely a decent over for Saskatchewan. They're going to need a few more lusty blows, however, to get this far. They're going to fall short of par, but they need to get up around 130 towards the end of this innings. And that one missed by missed there by Mangat, Jatinder Mangat, and not an ideal over for Bahia. Got hit for a big blow there, but did take the important wicket of Rehan Ayub as well. So score now 97 for 7 after 18 overs. They're going to need a couple big overs there. They're going to need a couple big overs, but Sidhu has certainly shown that he's gotten the goods. More 6s than 4s in this innings so far, Manali. Everybody's been able to clear the boundary, but they needed a couple more 4s in the midst of that innings to get to the mark.
Yeah, certainly a lot of aerial shots, and unfortunately that has cost them some very important wickets and partnerships that they had built as well. But these are pointers that I'm sure Saskatchewan's team coach. Now up Singh into his final over. Oh, and that's it's bowled well, and the only thing that Sidhu can do is get an under edge to the keeper. Bounces short, and another dot ball for Saskatchewan. Oh, Singh to Sidhu, and that was short, outside off. Sidhu's looking at the umpire to stretch his arms, call it a wide. However, the umpire says, nope, that looked good, well inside the line. some good steam behind that ball, Arslan.
Yeah, definitely. We've said this a number of times now. BC definitely have raw pace in their attack. See this one again, wide outside the off stump. Looking to give himself some room there is Manjit Sidhu, but just not able to connect. And a little bit disappointed that that's not given a wide. But once you give yourself a little bit of room, that wide. And as we said, and this now is edge, but it's going over the keeper, and this is going to go all the way for 4. And that's exactly what they were looking for. He rolled his fingers down on the side of that one, but it had enough pace to go for 4. And just a little bit closer to him that time. Only able to manage an edge, but just enough to get that over the keeper and all the way down to the third man boundary for 4. And the Saskatchewan bench enjoyed that one, as that now brings up the 100 for the squad.
Yeah, Saskatchewan 101 for 7, and a very welcome boundary. 2 deliveries left in this over. Oh, and some good heat behind that delivery as well. Very full, and Sidhu trying hard to get bat on ball, but unfortunately, another play and a miss. Last delivery in this spell for Nawab Singh. Oh, and that was short of a length and hit high up, as there's a fantastic catch taken by the long off fielder running in. It was hit high up in the air, and he judged that beautifully. You know, I was just about to say maybe Nawab Singh can be part of the wicket takers on his last delivery, and he did just that. Unfortunately, his innings comes to an end as he scores 13 off of his 9 deliveries. He certainly showed some great intent, but unfortunately just couldn't carry them through in the last over of their innings.
1-1 for 8 now after 19 overs, Manali, and the last over, they're going to need a couple more big blows. In walks Faisal Dudat. The number 10 batsman. In walks Faisal Dudat. He has played for Gujarat in India, so we'll see if he's got some prowess with the bat. We'll expect him to. They're going to be leaning on him with the ball later on in the second innings, but he's got to do a job here in the last over. And it is going to be Bahia to finish his spell with the ball. I would have liked to see Uday Birwalia come back. He bowled decently well in the start of the innings, but it is going to be Bahia in for his first match and has to do a job with this last over. This one back of the length, and Faisal Dudat does the job, hitting it out to point, getting off strike. Consists of Jatinder Mangat. You've shown the ability. Now it's time to execute on these big shots, and you've got 5 deliveries to put ourselves in a decent position here.
Yeah, 5 crucial deliveries left for the Saskatchewan team to put up a decent fighting score. As Bahia runs in, and that's pitched up quite full and driven down the ground for just a single, as a long on fielder is quite quick to the ball. The fielding's been quite impressive for BC this entire innings. They've been on the ball quick. They've been taking their catches. That looked like a bit of a slower ball, and picked up well for another single down to cow corner. Unfortunately, these singles just aren't what they need with just 3 deliveries left in their innings. Saskatchewan needs to try and get some bat on ball and clear some boundaries. Just 104 runs.
Jatinder hit down the ground to long on again, and Ravinder Paul Singh in the action. I was going to say, Manali, you said the fielding's been quite good from BC. say the fielding's been quite good from Ravinder Paul Singh. He's fielded almost every ball this innings, taken 3 catches. He's done it all himself. But you're right in that the singles are not going to cut it at this stage. 105 for 8. But the thing to note there is a single is better than a dot ball, and they're getting those. So here we are, and that's a big blow. That one's hit over point. It's hit over point. It's racing away, and that's the boundary that they would have wanted, Manali. And Faisal do that, coming with the goods there. That was wide outside the off stump, asking to be hit, and Faisal says, thank you very much. I will collect my first boundary of the innings. As the score now up to 109 for 8. 1 ball to go, Manali. This one's got to go over the top.
It absolutely does, and Faisal's on strike. Let's see what he's got in store for us. $111 for 8. Saskatchewan at the end of their 20 overs. Something tells me that's just not going to be enough against an experienced side such as BC. But you never know, as they say, and there's a whole innings left after this, and I'm quite interested to see what Saskatchewan's bowlers have in store for us.
Definitely, Manali. And again, as I said a little bit earlier, we spoke to the team management a little bit earlier today, and they mentioned that the bowling was their strength. Is 111 going to be enough against, again, a formidable BC team with 4 Canadian internationals playing amongst them, and a GT20 cricketer as well amongst that as well. So 5 players that have played at the highest level in the 11 today, and 111 is going to be a tall task to defend here for Saskatchewan, and that's what they've managed to do. 111 for 8 in their 20 overs. BC going to be looking to chase that down, and we'll be back shortly for the second innings to see how BC gets on. Thank you once again, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
There's 3 off 8, but he should be 7 off 8. Or not, I don't know if a single was missed either. Sandu 10 off 17. You 15 off 12. Imran Khan 8 off 21. Mungat 11 off 10. City 13 off 9. And Faisal Duga 8 off 4.
12 and 8 is 20. 15 is 35, 7 is 33, 10 is 52, 15 is 67, 8 is 75, 11 is 86, 13 is 99, 3 is 97, 103. So in between these two. So 1 goal, right? 112 to win. 112 to win, yeah. So I'm going to give it to that. Who was the guy that didn't go on board? They don't decide.
Should be quick innings, I think. Oh, jeez. I would assume so, at least. I would hope so.
Likely the captain, Salman.
Do anything.
Oh, you want it permanent or put something? First class bowler from Pakistan.
Guys, hold on. After umpire.
Should be much traffic at 7:30.
Take the 4-7.
Too expensive to do every day.
We'll be traffic on 4-1.
Yeah, I just checked. They're saying an hour and a half. 1 hour and 25 minutes right now. So I'm gonna go change about 10 minutes.
No ball counts as a ball.
I think so. I don't think we turned it off when we left.
And we're back to live action here from King City, Ontario, Canada. It's the final innings of the day here as we see BC in chase of 112 to win. Saskatchewan managing 111. Nelson for 8 in their innings. They chose the bat after winning the toss. Sarmad Anwar. And Sarmad Anwar is going to be opening the attack for Saskatchewan. Former first-class cricketer Manali from Pakistan. So he's going to have to do a job here for his team. Not many runs to play with in T20 cricket. And it's going to be the new man in for this game, Anup Ravi, to face Aaron Johnson alongside him. And already we've got some issues with the sight screen here at King City. And Manali, we saw 112 last game. BC's going to be looking to repeat that performance here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they will be, and they've certainly got the depth in their batting to be able to do that. Aaron Johnson batted quite well against Nepal in the second game, last week. Unfortunately falling short of what he would like to do in his morning game, but looking to make up for that in this game. Anup Ravi to face the first delivery from Anwar. Oh, and that's bowled very well, very full as Anup plays that down to mid-wicket for a single. I really hope, RC, that the batting intent or the running in between the intent between the wickets is they show better intent with doing that than they did in that first game, because that first game I saw a lot of lazy running, and I really hope BC can work on that in this game. Of course, it's a comfort that they will probably need to apply against some of the stronger teams in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. But before I get into that, Manali, I've never seen a batsman look up to the heavens after getting off the mark as Anup Ravi just did. So thankful to be off the mark in his first game. Also, like the long run Sarmad Anwar is coming in from. He's got a little bit of pace behind it as well. As we mentioned, former first-class cricketer, played for the Sialkot Stallions, first-class cricket for HBL. Now living out of Saskatchewan, and nice tall action from Sarmad Anwar, the captain, and he's got to do a job for his team here. And coming off a long run as well, nearly the 30-yard circle. So, born in Pakistan, a big fan of Pakistani fast bowlers. Manali, this is going to be a joy to watch. And that extra bounce and that height coming into play there early as that one. Getting a little bit of movement away from Aaron Johnson as well. And just a play and a miss from Aaron Johnson. So Aaron Johnson looked in good form in the first game. Not able to capitalize on the start. He was 26 off 12 in that first game. So going to be looking to capitalize on that in the second time he's faced the opposition in this tournament to date. And that one again, another play and a miss. He is getting some good movement off that wicket. But coming to your point, Manali, you're 100% correct in saying that the intent in the running between the wickets was just simply not there in the first game from BC. I know that's saying a lot, and that's a little bit nitpicking as they made 212 in that first game, or 214, sorry, I should say, in that first game. But again, it does come down to the 1% factors. When you play the likes of Alberta, when you play the likes of Ontario, those little things are going to come into play, and you've got to practice those things here before you get to the playoffs and the semifinals and the finals. So another play and a miss. It is a no ball, however. Everything going on in that delivery. Brilliant delivery by Sarma Anwar, but he has overstepped. Can happen when you're looking for that little bit of extra. And he needs a little extra in this opening spell here, Sarma Anwar, but overstepping and giving Aaron Johnson the license in this delivery and to potentially kickstart his innings.
Yeah, he's got his license to go home, go big. And, you know, Anwar, I'm quite impressed. He's got a lot of pace behind him. He's quite tall, quite lanky, lots. Here's a free hit. Oh, and that's a big swing and a miss. And unfortunately, Aaron Johnson nowhere close to connecting to that delivery. It's a few dot balls for Aaron Johnson now. He's faced 5 and yet to get off the strike. But he's quite experienced. I don't think that's really going to bother him. I'm sure he's thinking about it, but he knows that he's got the ability to back himself up and make up for those missed deliveries. And just as I say that, he's off the mark with a little nudge to the leg side. And that's the end of the first over. Saskatchewan starting off really well. British Columbia 2 for no loss. That's a fairly decent start from Saskatchewan.
Impressive start from Sir Anwar, the captain there. And I will say, he's lived up to his reputation. Talked a big game before the game. 2. Wow. It's the other cricketer from across the border from India, from Gujarat. It's going to be Faisal Dudat. And he's going to have the job to do. And again, these are the two that they rely on, Saskatchewan. They said their bowling was their strength, but it really comes down to these two shoulders. And they've got to get some wickets early here if they're going to restrict BC under that total of 111.
Arce, you ready for another pun? Dudat just making sure that his field is exactly where he wants it to be before he comes in to bowl. Oh, and that is short to start off with, and the BC batsman completely unaware whether to run through for a single or not. And that was misfielded as well, but still quite comfortably hit to be able to get a quick single regardless. Ravi on strike to face Dudat. And pulls it straight. Oh, and there's another misfield. Mid-on unfortunately has misfielded that, and Ravi picks up 4 runs off of that. Very unfortunate for the bowler. And sloppy work in the field from Saskatchewan. Unfortunately, something they cannot afford with the score that they have. Not quite a slingy action, Arslan.
Yeah, very slingy. He's a little bit short to start with, but he needs to be backed up by his fielders here. That's a better length, and another no ball. So another license this time for Anup. Not something Saskatchewan can afford at this stage of this game. And that one has been put away. He was full on the leg stump, and that's been put away. A couple bounces down to the boundary. No! It's gone all the way. So well hit by Anup Ravi. He looked up to the heavens after that first ball, but he nearly hit that ball to the heavens there, Manali, as that one's launched over square leg for 6. And again, they're not going to restrict BC. They've got to get wickets, and they've got to get wickets early in regular intervals if Saskatchewan is to win this game. And that sloppy fielding in the first couple of balls, a couple of deliveries of this over is not going to help their situation.
No, sloppy fielding, sloppy bowling, no balls are never going to help them. Oh, that's well bowled. A big shout, and the umpire's finger's gone up. Unfortunately, Anup Ravi looks a little shocked. However, he is out. And that is unfortunate because he was looking very, very comfortable out there. He has to walk back for 11 off of 5 deliveries that he's faced. And what a breakthrough for Saskatchewan. This is exactly what they needed. Unfortunately, a no ball that they had to deal with in there, some misfield, but they've come back and they've picked up a wicket. British Columbia 1 down, 15 runs on the board.
It's exactly what the doctor ordered for Saskatchewan there. Taking up the big wicket of Anup Ravi. He did look good. 2 boundaries for him off the 5 balls that he faced. Going for 11. A fortunate boundary through the legs of Jamshed, and then the 6 off the free hit. But now in comes another Canadian international, Uday Birwalia. Played decent in the first game, but he's going to want to capitalize on this opportunity here. BC's going to want to finish this off, get some well-deserved rest after this game. Make this very hard for them. And one's not going to be enough in the power play, Manali. They're going to need to take 2 or 3 here early. They've got a lot of batting depth, does BC. Ravinder Paul Singh still to come. Bhupinder Sahal still to come as well. So a couple batsmen left in the tank for BC. So they're going to need to take these wickets. And it's down to Faisal Dudat and Sarmad Anwar. They're 2 first-class cricketers from India and Pakistan, respectively, to do that. And this one, short outside the off stump. Uday Birwalia looking to guide that down to third man. Bottom edge on that, so not quite getting it. Again, ball's not just coming onto the bat, and we're starting to see that a little bit more and more as the games go on this wicket, Manali. It's a tough shot to play on this wicket with the ball not quite being unsure of the bounce on this wicket.
Yeah, slightly too paced, and BC, I think their batters need to be a little bit more watchful. Walia trying to repeat that from the first delivery faced, and he does it more successfully this time as he gets off the mark with a quick single. And that's over. British Columbia 16 for 1 after 2 overs. Not a bad start for Saskatchewan. They certainly were able to break that opening partnership, and too early to say whether BC is going to be in trouble for that. But you know what? A wicket's a wicket, and they're heading in the right direction. Walia, you're right. He batted decent in the morning. However, it was a bit of a slow, very comfortable, very patient knock. I would love to see just what he's got in his hold from Anwar. He's really bringing in his A game. That's another play and a miss, and as you can see, the batter's again asking for the side screen to be moved. The sun is also starting to set, right in front of where Walia is batting, and unfortunately, I'm sure that has an effect on how much of the ball and how well he's able to see it. Anwar looking like he's still in his heyday.
That's a loud appeal, and he's getting given. That's exactly what Saskatchewan needed, is 2 early breakthroughs, and they've got it. That's exactly what they would have hoped for, and Sarmad Anwar picks up the wicket of Uday Birwalia. Uday Birwalia not looking too confident with that. Points to his bat, potentially a bit high, but it looks out from my angle there, Manali, and that's 2 down early for BC, and Saskatchewan on a roll here. Sarmad Anwar, mighty impressive. 1 going away, nipping that one back in, and 2 good for Uday Birwalia.
Yeah, absolutely. Smart bowling and some good pace, and Walia unfortunately heading back for just 1 run off the 4 balls that he's faced. British Columbia 16 for 2 after 2.2. Anwar's still got quite a few deliveries left in this spell, and he seems to be troubling the British Columbian batsman every single delivery. Just here on. RC, you said that looked out. I don't know, I thought that was a little high, but you are a fast bowler, so a little biased.
Yeah, Manali, I might have been a fast bowler about 12 years ago. Now more like slow medium. But out is out on the scorecard. And Uday Birwalya has to walk back. And I have to say, Sarmad Anwar, mighty impressive so far in this spell. That one's pitched up. He's hitting his areas here, is Sarmad Anwar, doing a job for his team, hitting his areas, making the batsman play almost every delivery, and something that you need to do if you're looking for wickets, making the batsman play, and looks really in control of his bowling, in rhythm. But I'll tell you something about fast bowling and bowling in general, Manali. His rhythm comes really quickly once you start picking up a few wickets.
Yeah, that confidence. And Uday Bhagwan, the new man at the crease, just watches it go through to the keeper. Two deliveries to go in the over. Oh, and pace bounce. He's squared.
Going, Sarmad Anwar doing a job here for Saskatchewan. And Uday Bhagwan Singh here. As we see this one's flicked away, but well fielded at mid-wicket. Great stop, and that's exactly what Saskatchewan needs. Their bench is up and roaring here, Manali. They're in for this fight, and they certainly feel as though they've got a chance. They said that bowling was their strength in the first 3 overs there so far. I've got to agree with them.
Yeah, they're pumped up. They're bowling well. 2 wickets already gone for BC. Saskatchewan's doing it all right. BC 16 for 2 after 3. Looking a little uncomfortable out there, I must say. Although the total's a little small, they just need 96 more runs to win. But if it keeps going like this for a few more overs, there's that slingy action, and Aaron Johnson lets that go through to the keeper. I think this is the slowest start I've seen Aaron Johnson have. He's faced 7 deliveries or 8 deliveries now for his 2 runs. But looks like a patient man. Looks like he can wait it out for the bad deliveries. And that's short and wide again, and a big swing and a miss from Aaron Johnson. Oh, and that's been given wide. It's been given wide by the umpire, and Dudot looks a little surprised. Yet another extra, RC. I don't think they can afford these extras. No balls, wides. They're bowling well, but when they start to give away free runs and free deliveries like that, it just doesn't help the overall cause.
No, it doesn't. But this is what happens when you're pushing for that extra 2% or 1% for that wicket. Faisal do that again with that slingy action. This one's hit over point, however, and this is going to bring up the first boundary for Aaron Johnson. I was going to say before, when you mentioned that this is a slow start, he did start out fairly slow against Nepal as well in that game last week, but was able to pick up the strike rate later on in the innings. But this here, I've never seen a Jamaican rattled, Manali, and this is certainly not going to rattle him here, as he's seen the damage from the other end, from the non-striker's end. And now he's getting his opportunity to put bat to ball, and he's done so well on that occasion, bringing up his first boundary. But the one thing that has been impressive so far from both Faisal and Sarmad is they're getting the ball to talk. They're moving that ball in the air, off the wicket as well, in Sarmad's case, and it's impressive to see. And I wasn't expecting this when I saw the score when we were given the match sheet, but this is fantastic bowling from these two. And there again, that's a better line and length there, better areas from Faisal Dudat. And again, two in Faisal's last over, but they've certainly picked up, and again, that's what wickets will do. They'll get everybody together, they'll get the group together, and you can tell that they're fighting together as well as a unit. Really impressive to see here from Saskatchewan early on in the second innings.
Yeah, that was a great comeback delivery. Dudat is certainly showing his experience. One waiver delivery, and the very next he's back on the mark. Oh, and that's a massive shot by Aaron Johnson, pulled for a massive 6 down over mid-wicket, and Unfortunately, as I was complimenting Dudat coming back with a good delivery, he's pitched it short. I'm sure he was hoping for a little more zip and trying to fluster Aaron Johnson, but he was onto that in a flash. He's a fairly tall cricketer as well, and bounced to fluster someone with as much experience as him. Aaron Johnson looking more and more comfortable, starting to free his arms. This could be bad news for Saskatchewan.
That's a great comeback delivery from Faisal Dudat as he beats the outside edge of Aaron Johnson. And again, you can tell from Aaron Johnson's hand movements, they are getting a little bit of movement off that wicket. We've said it over and over and over again today. There is grass cover, so there is a little bit in there. But again, the sun baking this wicket. It's going to get better and better throughout this tournament. Spin's going to certainly play a role in the latter half of this tournament. But Faisal Dudat, again, does not have the pace to really trouble Aaron Johnson with that short delivery. Sarmal Anwar, on the other case, might. That slingy action once again, and Aaron Johnson looking to guide that through the offside, just getting off the inside edge of the bat, going down to Jumshade at mid-on. And the score after 3 overs is 27 for 2. After 4 overs, 27 for 2. So again, not an ideal start for British Columbia, but for Saskatchewan, 2 wickets, they're going to need more. They are going to need more. They're not going to restrict British Columbia. We've said this already. They're not going to restrict. But the one thing that's going to be interesting, Manali, is what Saskatchewan has left in the bank in terms of their bowlers. Sarmal Anwar started off really well, but he's only got 2 overs left. Faisal Dudat, only 2 overs left. Who else have they got to be able to do a job for the team?
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see the depth that they have in their bowling, because 2 of their most experienced bowlers are 2 overs each, are down 2 overs each, and with that comes their first bowling change. Ayub, the man in. He's got some big shoes to fill after the start that Anwar's been able to give Saskatchewan. And Uday Bhagwan to face the first delivery from him. Still to get off the mark. Face 4 deliveries. Oh, and ball just short and played very comfortably to the leg side, Uday Bhagwan, as he gets off the mark with a single. Obviously, the sun is setting. We've got 2 right-handed batsmen, and it's setting directly in front of them, definitely causing some challenges, I would assume. It's quite bright. There are no clouds blocking it whatsoever. Oh, and that's a big shout, and that looks a little suspect. No, the umpire says not out. That was a tight call by the umpire, as there was a huge appeal from all of the Saskatchewan players. Looked to hit Aaron Johnson quite plumb. What do you think, RC? Tight call?
Yeah, I gave it out from here. But again, as I said, I'm always in favor of the bowlers, Manali. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, potentially sliding down leg. We don't want the umpires guessing, but that one short again, and Aaron Johnson let it slide on the first time, was not going to let it slide on that time, as that's carved away to the square leg boundary. And Manali, that ball's gone all the way to the other ground, with the other matches going on between Ontario and Sandeep Lamichhane last week as well. So leg spin has the potential of getting him out. But again, he's got to bowl well as Rayan Ayub. He's got to back up the work that Sarmal Anwar did from this end for this first 2 overs. Decent start, but now he's got to finish strong here in this over. And that's another light appeal. This time, is he going to give him? No, maybe just hitting him outside the line of off stump. And again, we don't want umpires guessing, I'll tell you that. Because when they start guessing when you're bowling, they also start guessing when you're batting. So we don't want that. But again, 2 very, very, very close shouts for Rayan Ayub. That ball just sliding on with the arm. And there again, Aaron Johnson watchful there. So it's a good start from Rayan Ayub. That one boundary being the only loose delivery on the shorter side. But again, this has been a decent over so far. 1 delivery to go. That one again slightly shorter. Comes forward, does Aaron Johnson. Well fielded there by short third man coming across to cut that off. So again, a decent over from Rayan Ayub. The exception for that third ball that went for 4. The score now 32 for 2 after 5. Manali, they're ahead of the rate. But again, in the first 6, they've lost 2. BC will be Saskatchewan will be looking for a third wicket in this power play.
Yeah, they will be looking for their third wicket for sure. However, I'm starting to feel like Aaron Johnson is looking a lot more comfortable out there, and I don't feel BC is going to be too worried about the 2 wickets that they've lost. They do have quite a lot of batting left in their dugout to come. Still a tall order for Saskatchewan. Unfortunately, they do need to keep ticking away at the wickets if they're to put any serious pressure on the BC players. We do have another bowling change. Jatinder Mangat comes on to bowl to Uday Bhagwan. That is a wide to start off his over. Free runs for BC. Unfortunately, no free runs available for Saskatchewan to keep giving. However, they're ticking along with their extras column. Short and straight to the batsman as Uday Bhagwan runs through for a single. Aaron Johnson on strike. It'll be interesting to see how he plays Mangat. Mangat's bowling some gentle, medium-paced seam bowling. Oh, and that's flicked well off his pad, and some indecision from the batters, and Johnson just scampering through for a single. Unfortunately, the running between the wickets continues to trouble BC. Uday Bhagwan just trying to glance that past point, however finding the point fielder for a dot ball. 3 deliveries left in the over. Not a bad start from Mangat so far. 3 deliveries, able to keep it down to singles and dot balls. Looking to finish strong. And that's another wide, unfortunately. Two wides this over, and it's hard to build pressure when you're giving away free runs and needing to bowl extra delivery. Saskatchewan's really got to try and reel this in, especially after the bowling performance that their opening pair put up. Oh, and that is hit straight to the fielder at mid-off, and Mangat getting the breakthrough. Uday Bhagwan unfortunately has to head back. That looked like catching practice, unfortunately, just not getting the elevation he needed, and picked the fielder at mid-off. He walks back for 2 runs off of his 8 deliveries, and Saskatchewan picking up their 3rd wicket. BC 36 for 3, 5.4 overs, or 5.3 overs, sorry. I feel they believe they still might have a chance in this game. 3 wickets down, but that BC camp still looks very experienced with their batting. RC?
1 or 2 more wickets here, and the Cats certainly amongst the pigeons, Manali. They're doing a good job here. Jatinder, first ball wide, but has come back strong in this over. Uday Singh just not up to the task. Looking to hit that over mid-off. The opportunity was there. The ball was pitched up, but just not getting enough elevation and hitting straight to down Faisal Dudat's throat. And now it's going to be Navjot Dosanjh. Did not get a chance to bat in the first game, and he's here to play. So a change in the batting lineup. Aaron Johnson and Uday Birwalia, the only two that have batted in the same spot as they did in the game one. So British Columbia really looking to give an opportunity to all their batsmen. We haven't seen Bhupinder, we haven't seen Ravinder Paul Singh either. So there is batting in the camp, but again, once that 5 is next to that score in the wickets column, as we see Navjot Dosanjh drive this down the ground, past extra cover, past mid-off as well, and this has gone all the way for 4. I didn't think that was going, but he must have a special piece of willow in his hands, because that's gone all the way to the boundary for 4. And a very classy drive from Navjot Singh Dosanjh. The score now after 6 overs, 40 for 3 after 6. So again, it's not the runs column that they've got to worry about. Saskatchewan has got to keep taking wickets here, Manali. That's the only way they're going to win this game, is if they take all 10 wickets.
Yeah, you're right. Wickets will be the final decider, because BC only needs 72 more runs, and they've still got 84 deliveries to get that. Doesn't really require any risk-taking as of yet. They could hit the gaps, rotate, get their singles, their doubles, and put away the bad balls quite comfortably. Aaron Johnson on strike as Rehan Ayub comes in for his second over. Decent first over, just 5 coming off of it. And that's played beautifully down the ground for a single as Aaron Johnson gets off strike. For a dot ball. Again, I don't think BC is going to be too worried about the dot balls at this stage. They do have quite a few extra deliveries. All quite full and dug out by Bajwa for another dot. This is good bowling by Ayub, not really giving any room to the batsman. Full outside the off, and Bajwa can't seem to pierce the gaps. Full again and defended back to the bowler. Ayub's quite quick through the air, not giving much time for the batsman to react, and quite flat. Ayub able to free his arms to yet another full delivery, full out on the off, and that's 4 runs. That's driven beautifully through the covers. Unfortunately, not the end that Ayub would have wanted to a very good over. 45 runs for 3 after 7 overs for BC. They're cruising along here. 1 boundary and over, a couple of runs here and there. RC, they do not look like they're under any sort of pressure.
Yeah, Ayub's been bowling well, but it's that 1 loose delivery per over so far for him. A boundary in the first over went for 5 in the first over. A boundary in that second over went for. So he cuts out that 1 loose delivery, and he'd be his economy rate would certainly come down. But again, it's not runs. It's got to be wickets here, and Jatinder Mangat's got to do a job for his team here. Pick up another. The field spread now, long off, long on. Deep cover, third man as well. And this one pitched up, beaten off the inside edge. This ball coming in, and Jatinder Mangat, the oohs and ahs come out, Manali, as that's a beautiful delivery. And again, there isn't much scoreboard pressure, but again, you need to keep taking wickets. 1 or 2 more wickets, and that scoreboard pressure will certainly come into play. Not from the runs, but certainly from the wickets. It's a great start to the over from Jatinder Mangat. Did take the wicket in the previous over as he bowls to Aaron Johnson. This one's pitched up, and that's driven through the covers. It's going to be a single. There is a man out there on the boundary. So another single to Aaron Johnson. They're doing it easily here, Manali, but again, Saskatchewan's got to keep pushing. There's a lot of energy in the field. There's a lot of energy from their bench as well. They're well supported. They look united as well. And they're playing good cricket here. They're bowling well. This one down the leg side, and just as I say that, down the leg side for Mangat, Navjot Dosanjh will have that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as he carves that over square leg for 4 runs. And that's a hit me ball, Manali.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been the issue with the Saskatchewan bowlers. After their opening pair, it's been 4 or 5 decent deliveries, but 1 bad ball. And unfortunately, that allows for the BC batsmen to get a boundary away almost every single over. So all that pressure that they build up, bowling 4 or 5 good deliveries in the over is all gone out the window. Mangat just bowling short of a length there, and Bajwa just playing it out to cover. Another dot ball, however, they've already gotten 5 runs this over. Bit of a half shout from the bowler Mangat, but that looked like he was high and going down leg. Final delivery to go from Mangat, and the BC batters looking in no rush, taking their time, and just left that through to the keeper. At the end of the 8th over, BC are 50 for 3. BC cruising along well, Saskatchewan looking for the zone.
Thank you, Manali. It's been an absolute pleasure as Rehan Ayub continues to Aaron Johnson. Aaron Johnson in a stereotypical West Indian manner, just going at it very calmly, very easily, effortless almost. Rehan Ayub doing a job here. Get rid of that 1 loose delivery and over, as this one is given a little bit of extra air, hit down the ground. BC happy with a single, just rotation of strike. It's all they need at this point. Not many more to go here now, almost at the halfway mark of this chase. 3 wickets down, but that's not going to rattle them. For Saskatchewan, on the other hand, they definitely need a few wickets here if they're going to stop the flow of runs. Ayub not getting much turn. Not getting much turn. We've seen some turn on this wicket for the other spinners, but not getting much turn on this wicket. Just sliding on with the arm. As that one again, watchfully played on the offside by Aaron Johnson, and they're comfortable with a single. Adjustments in the field by the captain, Sarmad Anwar. And this one again, hit through the offside. Another misfield there at point, allowing the batsman to go through for an easy single. They can't afford that, Kent Saskatchewan, at this stage of the game. And from the body language, it looks like Saskatchewan might feel this game is starting to slip away from them. The noise levels have certainly gone down as you watch Rehan Ayub come in to finish off his over. And this one again is nicely driven. Well fielded there by Sarmad Anwar. Got big hands, the big man, and able to pounce that in. The score now 54 for 4. 54 for 3, I should say, giving Saskatchewan another wicket. 54 for 3 after 9 overs is British Columbia in chase of 112 to win. They're going at 6 runs and over. That's going to be quite a comfortable chase if they continue this, but knowing BC and knowing the forecast for the next couple of days, they're going to want to finish this off a little bit earlier than the allotted 20 overs. But again, for Saskatchewan, they're gonna need some wickets. As we have a change in bowling, it's gonna be spin from both ends now. And it's going to be Manjit Sidhu. He hit a couple of big blows in their innings with the bat, but he's going to need to come with the goods with the ball. So it is going to be spin from both ends, as mentioned. Navjot Dosanjh to face. Slower through the air, and that's been slapped out. There is a man out there, so just going to be a single. There's a little hit me ball for Sidhu. He's got to be better than that in this spell to have a chance. He's got his feelers out, deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket, long off, wide long off. Sorry, wide long on, long off, and deep cover. Ring on the offside, and a lone man at short mid wicket. He's giving it some loop and giving it some air as Aaron Johnson casually walks back in his crease and so again, British Columbia not flustered at this stage, doing it very comfortably, happy to do it in singles and put the loose balls away for boundaries. One again, giving it a lot of air is Sidhu. We haven't seen this so far in this tournament. Willing to give it a lot of air, asking the batsman to come to him, asking the batsman to deliver all the pace and all the power. We'll see if Dosanjh takes the bait. This one on the shorter end, slightly quicker on that occasion. Dosanjh, that change of pace, looking to carve that through the offside, managing an inside edge. So these dot balls, they're not good enough at this stage for Saskatchewan. They need wickets. This one short, hit down. The fielder is wide, but he's able to manage to come across and cut it off. So just a single. Again, there was a potential for two in that, but BC not running hard between the wickets. Happy to take that single and the runs as they give them. This one short again. Aaron Johnson looking to go over the top, and that's the wicket that they were looking for here. Saskatchewan casually hit out into the deep, and long off makes no mistake. Right down his throat. Jatinder Mangat on the boundary. And Manjit Sidhu was bowling it slow, giving a lot of air, asking the BC batsman to come out of the wicket. The hero in the batting innings in the first game, it's Bhupinder Sohal to come out to the crease to join Navjot Dosanjh. And it's going to be up to the two of them now to take their sides home.
57 of 10.
With that brings the end of the over as well. The score now 57 for 10. 57 for 4 and 10. 55 required in the last 10 of 60 balls is British Columbia, but they're 4 wickets down. Rayan Ayub to continue to finish his spell. He's 3 overs, none for 14. But he does desperately want to get into that wickets column. And he's certainly going to need one here if Saskatchewan wants to have any hope. But they have the dangerous man, Hutton Aaron Johnson. Rayan Ayub to continue. This one, full toss, hit down the ground. Imran Khan does the cleanup job on the boundary, so just keeping that to a single. Rayan Ayub is going to have to do better than that. He's going to want to get into that wickets column. He's going to have a left-hander to bowl to. Potentially would like to see a slip in place here for Rayan Ayub with the ball not really turning, sliding across. Love to see Saskatchewan push for another wicket. Love to see a slip in place here. Sir Madanor is not going to grant me my wish as Bhupinder Sohal to face his first delivery. And that one just guided towards third man. And again, guided to third man. Indecision in the running. No run, dot ball. Jamshed doing well there at point. Bhupinder Sohal is very interested. Navjot Dosanjh not so much. Probably the right call on that occasion. Rayan Ayub to continue. That again, wide outside the off stump, but Bhupinder Sohal fetches it from the offside. Running hard on this occasion, and they are going to come back for 2 quite easily. Hitting it out to the man at deep mid-wicket on the sweep and able to come back for 2. So good innovation there. A little bit of premeditation, but fetching that from the outside that off stump and able to come back for 2. There again on the back foot, sliding on with the arm. Good call there from Bhupinder Sohal as there wasn't a run there. Sidhu doing the cleanup job at cover. And these dot balls, they're going to need them to add up quite quickly here. Need the balls. Need the dot balls to build pressure, does Rayan Ayub. This one's sliding on with the arm again, but finds the gap, does Bhupinder Sohal, and this one's running away to the boundary, giving the chase to Jatinder Mangat, but it's going to be in vain as this one died. 4 runs for Bhupinder Sohal, and he started off brilliantly here. And it looks like he didn't have a break from that first game. He started off exactly where he left off. 6 runs off 4 deliveries now for Bhupinder.
Weird way to son.
And this one is driven beautifully down the ground. And this is great cricket there from Bhupinder Sohal, showing his experience. He's played at the international level, as we mentioned earlier. Able to hit that down the ground, finds the boundary, and then finds the single to get off strike. In this occasion, he's going to retain strike as that's the end of the over. The score boundary, 65 can come back into the attack. It might be now or never if they're to get a couple more wickets and restrict British Columbia. Decides not to. It is going to be Manjeet Sidhu to continue. Bowled very slow through the air in that first over, enticing the batsman to come after him. He's got a left-hander to bowl to. The field for him, deep backward square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, deep extra cover. And Bhupinder Sohal brings out his innovation as he decides to paddle that down, not getting it fine enough for the boundary, just managing to hit that deep backward square leg in just a single. The other thing of note here is this is the first time we're going to have a left-hand, right-hand combination. We'll see how Saskatchewan reacts to the left-hand, right-hand. These two are going to need to rotate the strike, hit the loose ball away, and really put the pressure and take this game away from Saskatchewan. Short outside the off stump. And again, that's a misfield by the captain, Sarmal Anwar. He's not going to be happy with that. Come back for 2. And again, this is something that Saskatchewan can ill afford at this stage. They need wickets, but they also need to be... They need to show their strength in the field. And it's been too much sloppy fielding in this inning so far. They've gotten wickets, but they've let through a lot of runs through their hands. This one giving it some air as well. Navjot Dosanjh, I should say, comes forward, only finding cover. So again, Sidhu enticing the batsman, giving it a lot of air here, enticing him to come after him. Not taking the bait as Aaron Johnson did in the last over. Sidhu almost looking to buy another wicket here, giving it a lot of air, a lot of time. This one short, was slow through the air, but Sohal finding the fielder at deep mid-wicket for a single. And again, the fielder is running across this left-hand, right-hand combination, just causing a couple of issues here for the fielders. They're short again, and Dosanjh, that's a lovely shot over the offside. A diving effort on the boundary in vain. That's a beautiful effort there on the boundary by Wajid Khan. Giving his all for his team, but that's beating him. And that's a beautiful shot by Dosanjh. Hit over the offside off the back foot. Had to create all the power as Sidhu not giving it any speed whatsoever. No pace on the delivery, and Dosanjh hitting that over the offside for 4 runs. The task now becoming easier and easier with every over. The score now 74 for 4 after 12. 38 runs required off 48 balls. And again, we've said this over and over again. They're not going to restrict them. They've got to take these wickets. And the captain was impressive in his opening spell of 2 overs. 2 overs. He's decided to call his own number once again. It looks to be a little bit of issue here. Sarmal Anwar has got to do a job for his team. He's called his own number. He is somebody that they rely heavily on to take wickets early and often for him. 1 for 3 with a maiden in his 2 overs in the power play. Very impressive, but he's got a job now to do and take some wickets for his team. Pitched up, driven straight down the ground for a single, but he has Dosanjh now on strike, the righty. might be a little bit more comfortable bowling to the righty here. Again, I would like to see a slip in place for Anwar. They have to go for wickets. They're not going to restrict this BC team. They have to go for wickets. So I'd love to see a slip in place, but not to be on this occasion. And this one, good length delivery. This one has been played with soft hands, and they're going to come back for 2. This is great running from Dosanjh. Found the gap, third man. Faisal Dudat doing the cleanup job. But again, had to run quite a bit to get to that, and Dosanjh able to come back for 2. The call to finish the game from the boundary is Ravinder Paul Singh shouting to his team to make sure that you finish this game. It's down to you 2. Sarmad Anwar here has to take wickets for his team. And that one hit out in the air, and that's the wicket that they were looking for. That's the wicket they wanted. Dosanjh has to go. A thick outside edge, that pace making it carry all the way down to third man. And that's the 5th wicket down for BC. So as the call for stay there and finish this game came up, the next delivery leading to a wicket. And Dilpreet held his own number and has provided the vital breakthrough for Saskatchewan. The score now 77 for 5 off 12.3. And that almighty important wicket of Navneet Singh Dosanjh. Dilpreet Singh Bajwa, I should say. Apologies, we've been saying Navjot Dosanjh. That's actually Dilpreet Bajwa. So again, amateur hour here in the commentary booth. But the all-important wicket, he looked good out there during his stay, but has to go, thick outside edge. And it's now Yudhvir Singh in to face Sarmad Anwar. And that's a brilliant delivery, a brilliant Yorker. That's a brilliant delivery to face. And a little bit of gamesmanship there by Sarmad Anwar. And that's an eye in keeping that out. But this is a great over so far from Sarmad Anwar. 2 for 6 in his spell so far with a maiden. Can he entice another one out of here? They can ill afford to give Sarmad Anwar another wicket. Watch him out and you win this game. Here's a call from BC. Sarmad Anwar looking to produce the goods for his team. 2 for 6 now off his 2.5. Last ball of his third over. He's got 7 deliveries left in this game. He's going to need a couple of wickets in those 7 deliveries. Looking to go for that Yorker once again. Low full toss. Yudhvir Singh had no intention of hitting that anywhere, but just defending it. Looking to play out Sarmad Anwar's over. And again, another very impressive over from the captain, Sarmad Anwar. The score now 77 for 5 after 13. And it looks like it is going to be Faisal Dudat to continue to come back as well. So the opening bowlers are coming back into the attack. Took some wickets between them early on in the game. And they're going to need to do the same here in the middle overs. They need 5 wickets. Their only chance of winning this game is to take 5 wickets, as they're not going to restrict British Columbia. And these 2 bowlers in Sarmad Anwar and Faisal Dudat have the experience, both playing representative cricket in Pakistan and India respectively, in Sarmad Anwar and Faisal Dudat. And they have to come through with all their experience, all the games, all the balls that they've bowled over the years. They've got... That's the ideal start from Faisal Dudat. Good length delivery. That slingy action. The light is starting to fade away here in King City, Ontario. Not going to be easy to see. The sight screens are fairly small as well. And it's tough to see from that end with the trees. That small sight screen. Faisal Dudat going to have to use all his experience. Saskatchewan not giving up in this fight for this game. They believe that they can win. This one beaten outside the off stump. That's a brilliant delivery. Maybe a little bit of an off cutter there from Dudat. And again, the camp is up once again. Saskatchewan believes. They believe they can win this game. And that's the first step to what you can win this game, and they certainly do so here. Dudat with a brilliant start to this over. 2 dot balls, a play and a miss on the last delivery. We'll see what he can come up with this time. The captain called his own number and called his counterpart, Faisal Dudat, his opening partner, to say, it's down to you and I. We've got to do a job for this team. But they need wickets. These dot balls might add up, but they need wickets. Can Faisal Dudat deliver the goods here for his team? Yudhvir Singh yet to get off the mark. And that one is that edge? No. Every delivery seems to be an event. Every delivery is producing something here in this game, and this could go right down to the wire, folks. Hang on to your seats. The light fading. Run still left to get. The two frontline seamers for Saskatchewan here. And there's another delivery, loud shout, but that's sliding down leg and high. Nothing right about that on LBW appeal. That's not what they need on this case. He's bowled a good over. Can't ruin it here with the last delivery. 2 runs off it with that wide. Yudhvir Singh yet to get off the mark. This one again. This one driven down. They are going for the single. Jatinder Banga a little bit on his heels. They are going to throw. There is a misfield and backing up, but again, just going to come through for that single, and that's Sarmad Anwar isn't going to be too disappointed with that. He's going to have a chance to bowl to Yudhvir Singh, who's 1 off 6. The score now 80 for 5 off 14 overs. 32 runs off 36. Again, in T20 cricket, the run rate not going to cause too many problems here, but it is going to be the wickets column, and Saskatchewan going to need some wickets. And Sarmad Anwar has said, I'm going to hold on to my 1 over, and is throwing the ball to Imran Khan. We've seen Imran Khan for Pakistan do a lot of damage. We've seen Imran Khan for Trinidad take plenty of wickets. Imran Khan for Saskatchewan has got to take some wickets here for his team. For Yudhvir Singh and Bhupinder Singh Sohal, their job is to see this game through for their team. A lot of chat in the field still for Saskatchewan. As we said, they still believe that they can win this game. And this one again, that finds the edge, but no slip in place. And this one is running down to the boundary. Faisal Dudat able to chase that one down, keeping it to 2. I've asked for a slip on multiple occasions, and they haven't given it to me. That slip there on that occasion would have been key, as that would have went right down into his breadbasket. And now the slip coming into play. Maybe a ball too late. A ball too late for Imran Khan and Saskatchewan, as Yudhvir Singh putting 2 more runs on the scoreboard for his squad. This one now hit away down the leg side. No fielder in the ring, so that's easily goes down to the boundary. So a single to Yudhvir Singh. Yudhvir Singh 4 off 8. Bhupinder Singh 11 off 11 with a boundary. Imran Khan, there's going to be a slip in place for Bhupinder as well. So again, a little bit of indecision in the field. There's a short third man. I'd like him to be more at point with the slip in place. Imran Khan coming around the wicket. This one on the shorter side. Bhupinder Singh straight to the fielder. They steal a run in the hands of Jamshed. So good alert running there from Yudhvir Singh and Bhupinder Singh, as they're able to come through for that single. Imran Khan bowling well here, but those singles are hurting Saskatchewan. They need a wicket here. As Yudhvir Singh carves that through the leg side. Another single. Another single for Yudhvir Singh, and they're starting to get back on track here. The 2 overs from Sarmad Anwar and Faisal Dudat didn't go for many, but now they're back on track. 5 runs off 4 balls in this delivery for Imran Khan. And as we mentioned, they need a wicket in this over. They need a wicket. As this one Looking to give himself a little bit of room there is Bhupinder Singh, managing to hit it out to cover to Jatinder Mangat. So again, the light is fading, and it's fading fast. This one again hit through the offside. Jatinder Mangat tries to put out his big boot, not able to stop it. Good fielding, and this is good fielding there, keeping that to 1, nearly running out Bhupinder Sohal as he was looking to come back for 2. And again, the score now after 15 overs, 86 for 5 in 15 overs. 5 overs to go, 30 balls, 26 runs, 5 wickets. Saskatchewan is on the ropes, but they're in this fight. They need a wicket. Has asked for Manjeet Sidhu once again to try and entice these batsmen into a big hit. Entice these batsmen into a wicket. Buy a wicket for his team. Bhupinder Sohal showing all his experience here. Not looking to do anything extra. Just hitting this ball down the ground, finding the gaps, 1s and 2s. That's going to win this game for BC. For Saskatchewan, they're going to need a wicket, and they're going to need a wicket fast. This one hit over the offside. It's in the gap, however, going down. The fielder from cover coming across, from deep cover coming across. But Bhupinder Singh, as we said, finding the gaps, not doing anything extra. And team closer and closer to victory. Sidhu giving this ball a lot of air on the shorter end side of the wicket on that occasion. This one pitched up, well pitched up in the block hole. And Jamshed is able to get down and stop that one from going through to long off. So a dot ball. They're going to need more dot balls here as well. So they're going to need dot balls. They're going to need wickets. This one, again, fetches it again from wide outside off stump to Sohal. Able to hit that down. Saskatchewan looking to take full advantage of that. They're going to need a wicket here. And Yudhvir Singh. My blood pressure is rising, folks. Every ball seems to be an event as Yudhvir Singh looking to hit that over the offside in the air. Perilously close to that extra cover fielder, but finding the gap down to deep cover for a single. Bhupinder Singh Sohal to face. This one short outside the wrist. Just one bounce there. Again, in the air to Jamshed. Not quite into his hands, just falling short and ricocheting off his shin down to the long off fielder for a single. But again, they need to be tight in the field. The call from Sarwad Anwar, tighten the field. Is Yudhvir Singh to face, and he looks to hit this one down the ground, and he manages to do so. A single down to long off. So doing it easily in that over. 6 runs coming off of it. 6 runs coming off of it. The score now 92 for 5 in 16. 21 runs needed off 24 deliveries. The required run rate not an issue here for BC. For Saskatchewan, however, they are going to need wickets. They need a bit. Bhupinder Sohal showing all his experience. He's been here time and time again. 28 years of age. Lots of experience in BC. Experience at the international level for Canada. He's the calm head that they needed earlier on in the day against New Brunswick. And he's the calm head that they need now in this run chase to get him over the line. You can hear the calls for wicket time. And Zimran Khan called his own number when he saw that one go up in the air. Said, it's my catch. Takes it comfortably. And again, the captain, Ravinder Pal Singh, didn't think you'd have to bat today. Saskatchewan had other ideas as the score now 92 for 6 after 16.1. So the captain, Canadian international Ravinder Pal Singh, we'll talk about his prowess throughout this tournament, has joined Bhupinder Sohal, who's looked good so far on day 1 of this tournament. Scored a 70 for his team earlier today, but he's not going to need that many. And this one looking to improvise again, and that one is nearly 2 and 2 for Saskatchewan. And they would have been cock a hoop after that one, as that's falling just short of the outstretched hands of Jamshed there at square leg. Soha looking to innovate. This one is carved out of the ground. This one's hit in the air. The fielder is there. And that's another wicket. Bhupinder Sohal, I talked him up. I talked about his experience. But that was a very inexperienced shot from Bhupinder Singh Sohal. He needed to see his team through. Nearly threw away his wicket on the last delivery. Threw it away this time. Has found the man at deep mid-wicket. Saskatchewan really believes now. British Columbia 92 for 7. 92 for 7. 20 runs still to go off 22 deliveries. Ravinder Paul Singh has yet to face a ball. And he's got to be the man. We talked about the prowess of here for his side. 2 for 6 and 1.3. 92 for 7 after 16.3. I'm starting to lose my voice here, folks. It's been 3 exciting games here so far. In this one, I told you earlier, this was going to come down to the wire. And it certainly is for Saskatchewan. British Columbia needs 20 off 21. And the scoreboard pressure is real now. But we know what Ravinder, he doesn't have many batting partners left. Yet to face a ball. About to face his first delivery. And this one's short. Watchful from Ravinder Ball. He hits that down to the leg side. They're running hard. And the misfield, it allows them to come back for 2. That's something Saskatchewan cannot afford at this stage. They need to keep the pressure on. So Ravinder Ball Singh coming back for 2. Marhan. And this one watchful again, so that's going to be a dot ball. 94 for 7, 1 delivery to go in the 17th over. You're watching this. Dilpreet Bajwa and Bhupinder Sohal. A run-out opportunity, allowed appeal, but nothing doing as Bahia was up to the task. Responded quickly to that call. And the score now 95 for 7 in 17 overs. 3 overs to go, 17 runs, 18 balls. But importantly for Saskatchewan, 3 wickets to get. And you can start to see the movement in both camps. BC moving around, called on his opening partner and Faisal Dudat to come do the job again for his team. They want that wicket. They want that wicket of Ravinder Paul Singh. And he's called on Faisal Dudat to do so. The light fading quickly. And again, Ravinder Paul Singh making sure that he has the score right. Wants to know how hard he can go at this bowling. He doesn't need to. They can do this in singles if they want to. The gaps are in there. But we know Ravinder Paul Singh, if he has his way, he's going to do this with a couple of big blows. Saskatchewan, they hope that he goes for it because they want his wicket. And they know if they get their wicket, they're right in amongst this game. False start for Faisal Dudat coming in to bowl his last over and the 18th over of the match. And this one outside edge, and that's going to provide the boundary that Ravinder Singh was looking for. Just guiding that down to the third man, fine edge. Again, no slip in place. No slip in place, and that eases the pressure a little bit for BC with that boundary. The score now 99 for 7. Ravinder Ball Singh 7 off 4. Didn't think he'd be batting in this game. Dropped himself down the order to give others a chance. But Saskatchewan said, BC, you're not going to get this game that easily. So Ravinder Paul Singh has to come on and bat and now has to do a job for his team. Not many to go now. 13 runs off 17. That's an ideal start for BC in this 18th over. This again, shorter now on the legs. Off the pads of Ravinder Paul Singh coming through for that leg bye. All runs count at this stage for BC. Having a little bit of a laugh with the umpire. Trying to entice him to let him know that he might have gotten some glove on it. Nothing doing there as the umpire signals leg byes. And now Harmandeep Bahia coming in at number 9. Yet to face a delivery. Faisal Dudat, all his experience has got to come into play now. He's got 4 deliveries in this over, but he's going to need a wicket. Third man, very fine. for that outside edge. But I would like to see a slip in place for the number. That again, looking to get Ravinder Paul on strike, but that's an important dot ball there for Bajwa. For Faisal Dudat. Harmandeep Bahia. They want it. 13 required now off 16. Apologies, 12 needed off 15. Faisal Dudat wants to have Bahia face all 3 deliveries. This one short outside the off stump. They are going for a quick single. There is a run out chance, and it was there. He was gone for all money if he hit. Sidhu had 1.5 stumps to aim at. Did not connect. A very dangerous single there, and the pressure telling on Bahia. Wanted to get Ravinder Paul Singh on strike. And could that be the crucial moment for Saskatchewan? Could that be the moment that they rue as they think back at this game? Ravinder Paul Singh was gone for all money if Sidhu had hit. This one's short. There is a man out there. There is a man out there. Dropped on the boundary. Everything going on. Everything happening. That's a brilliant effort on the boundary there. Brilliant effort on the boundary there by Zoaib Khan. But that was, you got to take these chances if you're going to win these tight games. Gave it his all, but just falling out of his hands as he landed on the ground. Short delivery was there to be hit, but that's 2 chances and 2 deliveries for Saskatchewan now. And the task getting harder and harder with every ball. 102 for 7 and 17.5. British Columbia needs 10. It's 2 hits off 13 deliveries. That one's short, and that one's hit away again. This one's in the gap. And that's going to go all the way. Is it? No. It stops. Stops short. Everything happening in these last few overs. Only managing to get 2. Sloppy running from the 2. Thinking it was going to go down to the boundary. Just managing 2 runs. And the score now off 18 overs. 104 for 7. 8 runs needed in 12 balls. And it's got to be time. Sarmad Anwar has got to come back into the attack for the penultimate over. Does not have runs to play with. This penultimate over is going to be telling. He's got to keep this down to 1 or 2 and take 1 or 2 wickets here if Saskatchewan to win this game. It's not going to be easy for these batsmen. The light is fading, and it's fading fast. He's a tall man, potentially coming up over top the side screen. We've seen numerous batsmen ask for the side screen to be moved. It does not move. Sarmad Anwar, the penultimate over, the captain. He's got a smile on his face. He's up to the task. All his experience, he's got to use it all now. Starts off with a Yorker and a dot ball. Another run-out opportunity. Bahia diving back into his crease. And that's an ideal start from Sarmad Anwar. A dot ball to begin with. But again, with only 8 runs needed, these dot balls, they're key, but they're not gold. Sarmad Anwar, all his experience of bowling in Pakistan, first-class cricket, playing for the Sialkot Stallions. It's got to come into play now. Fit bowling to Ravinder Paul Singh. This one's short outside the off stump. Does not come in, but the umpire has called it wide. That's not what Saskatchewan need. They got to make BC earn each and every run here. And that task becomes that much easier. 7 now needed off 11 deliveries. Sarmad Anwar is going to need a wicket here. He's going to need 1, maybe even 2 off this over. But the important wicket that he's looking for is that of Ravinder Paul Singh. As this one is played down to the leg side, they come through for a quick single and they're able to do it. And again, Ravinder Paul Singh asking for the side screen to be moved. Sorry, there's a bit of movement behind the side screen. That one played the ball and then asked for the movement. So interesting take there, but Bahia on strike. 6 now needed. 1 blow, 1 lusty blow is going to win this game for BC. They restricted Saskatchewan to 111. They didn't think it was going to come down to the wire as it is, but Saskatchewan has done a heck of a job here, taking 7 wickets, restricting BC to 106 for 7 off 18.2. But they're going to need these 3 wickets, and Sarmad Anwar now to Bahia. And that's the edge, and that's the wicket that they were looking for. Sarmad Anwar Called his own number. Wanted that wicket. And Bahia has to go. Edged to the keeper. No slip in place. It had to be edged to the keeper. The keeper taking an easy, comfortable catch. Head height. The score now 106 for 8. Nawab Chima has to come in. Has to face Sarmad Anwar. 2 deliveries left. 3 deliveries. That wide might have been a blessing in disguise for Sarmad Anwar. As 3 deliveries left in this over. 2 wickets to go for BC. Squad and his team needs 2 more deliveries. It's got 3 deliveries in this over left. Only 2 wickets to go for BC. You can feel the pressure. You can feel the intensity in this ground. All eyes on Sarmad Anwar. Nawab Chima facing Sarmad Anwar. And that's going for the Yorker. Ends up being a full toss. Nawab Singh Chima able to hit that down to deep mid wicket. Gonna be a single. It comes down to the 2 captains facing each other. Ravinder Paul Singh for BC, 9 off 8 with the 1 Saskatchewan. 3 for 9 in this 3.4 with a maiden. 2 deliveries to go. This is the important wicket. This is the ball. Sarmad Anwar, what can he come up with? That magic Yorker in 18.4. Sarmad Anwar does not have runs to play with. Needs these 2 wickets. He's got 2 deliveries to do it. What can he come up with? I'm standing, folks. You can feel the intensity in this ground. You can cut the pressure here with a knife. 2 deliveries for Sarmad Anwar. Well defended. Ravinder Paul Singh knows that he's got to watch out these 2 deliveries. He can finish this game with a boundary. He's going to take this down to the last over. Sarmad Anwar with 1 ball to go. He's bowled a brilliant spell so far in this game. 3 for 10 off 3.5. He's got to come up with 1 delivery. Can he get the wicket of Ravinder Paul Singh? It's all to play for here. Captain versus captain. Going for it! And that's the shot! That's the winning runs for Ravinder Paul Singh! But Ravinder Paul Singh, it was in his slot, hitting down the ground. And that call signals the end of the game. The blood pressures are high. But we can all breathe now as Ravinder Paul Singh hitting the ball down the ground, finding the boundary for 4. And does the job for his team. British Columbia 112 for 8 in their 19 overs. Beating Saskatchewan 111 for 8 off their 20. Sarmad Anwar gave it his all. Saskatchewan gave it their all. But they simply did not have the runs on the board. We said that their bowling was their strength, and they certainly showed it today. And they're going to be a dangerous side in this tournament. They're ones to look out for. And with that, folks, that ends day 1 here from King City, Ontario, Canada. In the game 1, we saw British Columbia, Quebec beat Newfoundland by 10 wickets. And then we've seen a thriller in game 3. British Columbia winning by 2 wickets against Saskatchewan. But Saskatchewan can hold their head up high as they walk off this field. A mighty impressive performance against one of the favorites in this tournament. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of this Saskatchewan team as they certainly came to play in this tournament. With that, folks, we're signing off. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you for following along. We'll see you tomorrow here for day 2